Well, everybody's got one question on their mind, and that's, is the markets going to drop more tomorrow? It's been a little painful as the markets have been under a lot of selling pressure. I'm going to attempt to give you an answer to that. I'm going to give you my opinion. I'm going to take you into the SPY and tell you what it is that I see happening there. I'm going to go over some hot stocks with you, and we're going to talk about what is going to move the markets this week. We've got some important data. We've got some important earnings. This is the Stocks with Josh show. Thank you for joining me today. Thank you for hitting the like. Hit this subscribe. I chart, I scalp, I invest, I trade, and I share it all with you guys. Make sure you get the next video by hitting that subscribe. Okay, let's dive into one of the biggest events that hopefully could turn this market around. And I'm going to again talk to you about some stocks that have been showing some strength while others have been showing weakness, because that is always a signal that when the markets turn around, they could really take off. I've got a pick for you there. I'm going to talk about our trade setups this morning and what it is that you need to begin to turn around your portfolio from going into the red and get it back into the green. All right, let's dive into it. Obviously, the biggest event we've got going on this week is Nvidia. Nvidia's earnings are Wednesday after market close, and folks are jittery about it. I'm going to take you into the problem. It all surrounds the Blackwell chip. While investors are excited about Blackwell's long-term opportunity, some are worried about what the near-term picture looks like given a shortage of the Blackwell product. In recent quarters, investors have wondered whether Nvidia could beat revenue expectations by around $2 billion while guiding for $2 billion plus in growth. According to Wedbush Securities analyst Matt Bryson, he thinks Nvidia faces a somewhat similar setup this time around. His own expectations are about $2 billion above the consensus view, both in terms of last quarter's revenue and this quarter's guidance. And so what the market's looking for is, again, outperformance. They're looking for Nvidia sort of a shock and awe, beat expectations, and then raise guidance looking further out. Otherwise, the stock is simply priced to perfection or overpriced if they're not on the same path of growth that they had been on in 2023 and 2024. If they give a hint of slowdown or if they have any problems, it's not been priced in, especially since we came up off of our lows at around beneath 117, all the way back up to 143 right at the end of last week. And so the market's jittery on Nvidia's earnings. And so this is one that's going to absolutely cause, it's either going to lift the markets or it's going to smack them down even further. Let me take you into the SPY, and I'm going to show you guys what I'm watching there for a reversal. Let's go check it out. Okay, I'm going to keep this very simple. If you guys remember last week, I talked about the fact that we were going up on low volume or decreasing volume. And I said that whenever we get these red days, then the volume spikes. And I actually compared this to this move back here where we were yet again going up on low volume, but when we finally got to the sell-off, that's when the volume spiked. And this isn't a news story. I've been telling you guys that the volume and momentum have not been in line with price. And the other big concern that we have is that we're actually not far enough off of the top of this market for this to be a full-fledged correction. We actually had a correction back here. Let me give you the percentage. We had a correction back here when we got to 5.45% down from the top. But the truth is, we can actually get a full 10% down from the top. Now, I'm not predicting that right now. I will tell you that the next major area of support is back at 585. That's where there was some consolidation last time. But if we were to reverse soon, if we were to actually make a higher low and not cross beneath this previous low, well, then the markets would be telling us that we're actually going to be shooting up to this 620 area pretty quickly. But what is this chart missing? Well, this is actually a pretty ugly chart right now with, I would say, a huge problem. It's a candle problem, and it's the fact that there is not a green candle here, okay, nor is there a long wick on the bottom of this candle. And you can see that every time we've had reversal moments, back here where we had a huge red candle, the market found its bottom, went lower, but ended the day with a green candle, right? And we're in the same boat. This candle tells me that we are absolutely going lower tomorrow, and we've yet to get our reversal candle moment. And so just be mindful that, yes, this market is absolutely pointing down right now. While I've got the charts up, let me just go over a couple other charts. I talked with you guys many times. We've covered Palantir, and I came out here and told you all throughout this area to hold on. We were going higher. And then right at the end, I said, guys, right around 122, it's time for this thing to fall apart. It fell hard. I'm just taking a moment here to remind you guys that the area of support on this chart is between 80 and 75. But I also want to remind you that we don't always get all the way back to support in one move. If we dropped all the way from the recent highs down into the middle of this zone, that would be a pretty incredible pullback. That would be a 38% pullback, which may or may not happen. And the truth is that we're actually in an area here where we've come back into an area where we actually could bounce. But I'm going to tell you that we still don't have a green reversal candle. And so unfortunately, you just can't try to guess the bottom on these. It would be far better to get 2 green candles. I want to remind you guys why we wait for 2 green candles. You're going to have a green candle every once in a while in a downtrend. So it'll be red, 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 green, right? And that's the bulls attempting to fight back because they're not just going to roll over for the bears. But unless the next candle goes green, then you have no confirmation of a reversal. So you've got to get that second candle to go green, right? Or the candle that went green has to be so powerful and so strong, the top closing price has to engulf the previous red candle. That's the only way that you've got a buy signal. And I just wanted to point out that the SPY, just like Palantir, has not given a reversal or a buy signal just yet, which means that there's more room for this to go down tomorrow. Now I'm going to take you into a chart that I do like, and it's one that we attempted to trade here recently, and I'm going to hopefully bring back a little bit of hope on it and tell you what it is that we need to see tomorrow, because we got what we wanted to see today. We just need to see follow through tomorrow. Let's go check out that stock. And if you guessed, I'm talking about Reddit. And I also have another stock for you that we talked about in the last video that's showing really good strength, and I'll share that next. Let's go look at the Reddit chart. What we've got here on Reddit, and we've talked about these levels, this 160, 180 is a good level. It's actually stopped its free fall there. And then today we actually had it drop below, but it gave us a potential reversal candle. This is a hammer candle at the bottom at a key fib level of support. And so this was a buy signal for Reddit, right? And I gave the buy level in the Stocks with Josh Discord, but I'm going to tell you that what we want to see next is we have to see another green candle open and close tomorrow above 166, and then it could be that this is really going to have a nice move. And I'm going to tell you that my targets are 184 and then back to 206. And so I am looking at this one for tomorrow for additional additions to my position. This is one that we're trying to regain a little bit of lost ground on it. I think that there's a lot of things that are very close to a turnaround moment. I think the market is having these huge elevator down moments, but I think that we're not going to fall off a cliff. I don't believe that this is the beginning of the end. I believe that we have yet to reach the top of this market and get a true blow-off top on the S&P 500. And so I believe that we're going to continue to trend up, but we're seeing this roller coaster move. Like I said, this slow climb and this fast drop and then a slow climb again. This is what distribution looks like. I've talked about it so many times, and there are different types of distribution. I mean, you've got when something pulls back, but it's getting ready to go higher, that's just consolidation. Distribution is much wider price moves, and that ultimately leads to a bigger decline. And so I want you guys to just be mindful that you want to consider, what are you doing? Are you investing? Are you swing trading? This is a swing trader's market. In the Stocks with Josh Discord, I dropped new trade setups this morning. I'm going to show you one of them. It's Microsoft. And if you had the courage to take the trade today, this was another huge winner. The call was for puts right beneath 406, and there was obviously a lot of selling pressure today. And this was actually a pretty easy trade. Now, I can tell you that I saw some comments from people who were just afraid to get in, right? I mean, when the market's down and you're seeing your portfolio shrink, it can paralyze you. But I'm just going to encourage you that I'm dropping these trade setups every single day. And this is the type of moment where I would say, don't go in huge position size. But at the same time, you've heard the saying, scared money don't make money, or is broke money. Let's go look real quick at my next pick, and that's Apple stock. Now, I've been talking about this one, and I'm expecting a huge move. This one has been giving very strong signs of relative strength. It had this one red day, and similarly, I mentioned that what does it take to create a reversal? It would have taken 2 red candles. We only have 1 red candle here, and then we've actually made a higher closing price than the previous red candle. So at this moment in time, this green candle is entirely engulfing the red candle, utterly canceling it as any sign of a reversal on Apple. And so we're not even out of trouble with the S&P and this current move down, but Apple's made a higher closing high. And I've mentioned that we're right at this previous resistance, which if we can close above it will be a huge breakout moment. And I've talked about the fact that it brings 260 all the way back on the table. Now, at that point, I can just pre-tell you before we even get there, the big question that we're going to have is, are we going to end up getting a double top on Apple? Because if it just gets back to 260, that's actually pretty bearish overall, right? But I am telling you from my view that Apple needs to be one that you want to watch for continued moves to the upside, because it's just showing so much strength. And I will point out to you this classic shape. It's kind of a W shape, right? And if we got all the way back up here, let me clean up my chart for a minute. If we got all the way back up here, we could actually go all the way up here for a neckline continued move and potentially continue this upward move. There's a lot of upside potential on Apple, and I just want you guys to be aware that I've always referred to Apple as an indicator. And if Apple's showing strength, is it possible that it's leading the way and telling us that these markets are not as bad off, that we shouldn't be as afraid as we can easily get into with all the FUD circulating and a wall of red in front of us? I think that Apple right now is giving the markets a little bit of confidence that there's a desire to invest in this market right now. I think Apple's story is that they were late to AI and they're catching up, and people don't want to discount that. I mentioned the other day that Apple is a China stock play because China has got such a strong stimulus plan going for tech companies that it is bleeding over into Apple having potentially more success ahead in its next earnings. And so all of that is definitely causing Apple stock to continue to show strength. Let's go look at Alibaba real quick because this has been an interesting play, and I know there's a lot of folks in it. You guys know that I sold everything. I actually sold it right here. I told you guys this is what I was doing. I cashed out, and I'm not trying to brag, but obviously we're much lower. This was a great decision. When I got that little green candle, I somewhat questioned myself. I was like, shoot, is this thing just gonna skyrocket up? I didn't really think it was going to, but I will point out to you right now where support is. First of all, this has had such a strong move up. The first thing I want everybody to know is that there isn't a lot of support in this chart yet, okay? So what we're hoping to see happen is some consolidation here so that we could eventually go higher. And the number one level that needs to hold is really this 127 to 121. We could dip into it, but we really want to hold 121 in particular, and that would still keep us in an upward trend. But if you're going to trade this from a momentum perspective, you don't really want to be back in it until it crosses back above $140. At the moment, I'm going to be watching this very carefully because it was a beautiful play to the upside, and it would be great to take it again. But this was such a strong move. Let's just recap what percentage move this was. This was an 80% move in about 2 weeks. And so it does make sense that this is cooling off. In the Stocks with Josh Discord, I dropped my crypto cheat sheet, which gives you the breakout prices for popular cryptos like XRP, ADA, Bitcoin, Ethereum, Solana, and Sui. My technicals are there. I'm going to keep that updated for you guys so you know what price I'm going to be getting into these cryptos. If you don't know what I'm talking about the Stocks with Josh Discord, ChartGoat University. I've been spending a ton of time working with some programmers on the flare indicator to relaunch that to all of you guys in the Discord so that we can get really, really good buy and sell signals on it. So far, it's been working very well, but I'm refining it and I'm going to try to make it available so that you guys can use it on anything. That's the game plan. I've been working a lot on that over the last week. I'm going to continue to work on that till it gets launched. I've been spending hours every day, and so you might see a little less of me so that I can get that project completed. Hit the like button and let me know that you're looking forward to that outcome. So that's all I'm going to cover today. Apple to the upside. Reddit might have reversed. We just need one more green day to make a new high to confirm it. The SPY does not look good. It looks to me, nor does Palantir. It looks to me like it could be that we've got to go a little bit lower and wait until we get that green reversal candle to signal that we're done going down. That's my view on it. Let me know in the comments if you guys are excited about this moment in the markets, whether you're terrified, whether you're taking the trade setups. They're printing. Guys, those trade setups are printing. But I know that when things get like this, it's kind of scary to make moves. But I would say just take a small position, something that you can take and sleep at night with. And again, you shouldn't be sleeping on the Reddit leaps. I'm getting into those on the prices that I gave in the Stocks with Josh Discord. This morning, I dropped a complete analysis of the Magnificent Seven as to where the next support level and buy level was for each of those. And I will see in a week if those were good technicals or not. Let me know in the comments if you acted upon those support levels. Appreciate each and every one of you guys. Peace and blessings. We'll see you in the Discord in the next video. Take care.